Hello everybody, welcome back. Let's have a look at some of these coins. I've got some good news, I've got some bad news, but I suppose what we'll do is we'll go for the bad news first, but the good news is pretty good, regardless of your strategy. Suppose, obviously that's not entirely the case. If you have a terrible strategy, if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. So let's have a look at it in the most basic terms for anyone who's hodling this, alright? So as we open today's candle on the daily for Bitcoin, it would appear that we were rejected, kind of as expected. Below the center of the Bollinger Band, in the bearish territory of this Bollinger Band, basically forming what would likely become, and technically already is, a lower high. So this is what we were going on about in the live stream yesterday. That I was not completely sold on the idea that this is going to be a full reversal. However, it could still happen. Apparently, Mark Zuckerberg's bought a couple of bitcoins. I don't know if he has or not. Even if he did, usually these kind of pumps that you get after some kind of announcement like that, if it even is true, will probably just get sold off back into as it's a FOMO week, and then the chart will continue with its natural progression. So, with or without Mark Zuckerberg, this is in my opinion how it's going to go. So until we break above this zone here, the center of this Bollinger Band, we'll call it 57,000, maybe even a little higher to be safe. 58,000 be nice. Closing candle bodies around there, and then retesting this and getting the trend back into play again would be great. But for the moment we're not there, and it looks like we formed a lower high. That's okay, because we were all expecting a downtrend, and look where we were rejected from at its peak yesterday. On this 4-hour candle, it's the 200 exponential moving average telling us that we're not ready to break above there and turn that into our base. That should be the bottom moving average of any chart. At the moment it's the top, and even though we came back up to test it, which is very encouraging, on the first attempt it was rejected. So we're looking to probably move back down again. Are we going to form a lower low though? That's the question. Is that the case, or is this low already in? Are we going to continue to move up from here, or are we actually going to consolidate further? Well, this 4-hourly chart does look quite promising actually, in the way that the conversion baseline cross down here beneath the cloud took place. We also have a green area over here forming on the Ichimoku cloud, which is a bit of a glimmer of hope into the future, not too distant future. That comes to 3.5 days, the beginning of May. And personally, I'm finding a lot of reads on altcoin charts to suggest that May is going to be okay. In fact, May is going to and again, time frames are always quite difficult to pinpoint. They give a rough idea of an area of time where things are going to perk up, and I think that May, early May, is going to start to see a reversal from wherever we are at the time. This could very well be the bottom, but it might not be. But even if it isn't, May has got a lot of signs of potential upside to bring us to across the board for new all-time highs. Bitcoin, altcoins, absolutely everything. Probably even Dogecoin, who knows? Maybe even CNS, who knows? So this is the deal with Bitcoin. We're rejected here, that's fine. We're likely to come back down, okay, that's fine. Maybe retest some of these breakout zones like 52,500, maybe even some of these lower levels of support like 51,500. That's no big deal. Even if we came all the way down and made a lower low, I'm not particularly bothered. This isn't the bubble pop people are referring to, in my opinion. It's not the bubble pop. So if we have a look a bit closer here on Bitcoin's daily, it does put things into a bit more of a bearish overtone, as we have definitely got the lower low and the lower high. So this may end up consolidating further. The obvious place for it to come down to is going to be the 20 weekly moving average, where it's likely to find a decent bounce. Now, if we think about where we are right now, next month we're still in April next week, and then the following week after that we start May. So May, until May, I'm not really expecting anything significant as far as upside is concerned for Bitcoin. We're going to get these bounces like we had yesterday and the day before. That was, in my opinion, down to this bullish divergence taking place on the RSI. Lowest point there, a higher low, which corresponds to a higher low and a lower low and an even lower low here. So massive bullish divergence, which is likely played out. Now we're ticking down on the histogram. we're probably going to get sold into, in my opinion, and carry on with this downtrend. No big deal. Like I say, the strategy overall for hodlers and traders alike is that there is going to be plenty of upside. Just don't think we're going to see it from this moment right now, unless Mark Zuckerberg says that he owns all Bitcoins and the only Bitcoins that are left are the ones in your wallets. Then you'll be okay. Litecoin. So Litecoin on the daily here looks a lot better than Bitcoin's on the daily, I have to say. So rejected from the center of the Bollinger Band, struggling, and probably going to come back down again to this green 50 exponential. We're talking $229. Maybe a little lower, but again, this Ichimoku cloud is snaking up, right? This is support in itself. Look where it starts to go green as we enter into May. So May is already showing us, it's dictating to us a potential uptrend already on this Ichimoku cloud. Now, a good thing about the way that this cloud's postured like this is that if this continues to be support and we remain above it, the likelihood is that we will get a conversion baseline cross. At the moment, we've got a negative one saying that this one over here was the buy signal, this one over here was the sell signal, as in basically the trend began and the trend ended. Now, if we get another one somewhere over here in May, this is likely to moon quite hard, and I'll give you another reason why it might moon hard. If we look at this pattern formed here on the weekly, a giant W. Okay, so we spoke about this briefly on the live stream last night. This giant W formation lends itself to a really, really big ripping move, like a really big one. Once it plays out. Now we are looking at things on the weekly, and you can see how strong the weekly looks. And a full-on recovery is almost certainly going to happen sooner rather than later. But I'm telling you now, once this this high $312 is put in and closed above, we're going to tear it up. We are going to literally rip, and I would expect into the 400s, 500s, maybe more for Litecoin. So Litecoin is actually looking very good on the weekly, also very positive on the daily. Absolutely everything I like about a chart is being presented to me on this chart here. So Litecoin, I suppose, depending on how you choose to view it, some people might be disappointed with its performance, but really what it's doing is it's shaping up to actually do some really big moves. Now, if you were trading crypto around for the last few years, you might remember that how Litecoin actually led the party, the altcoin party. It was the biggest mover of all altcoins, definitely in the top caps. There will have been some obviously smaller caps that rallied harder than that. Back down here, it blew all the others, including Bitcoin, out of the water. It really did rally hard. So the bottom down here, all the way to the top, 472% move. That in today's standards doesn't sound big, but coming out of a bear market, going into the first phase of a bull market, that was pretty big, and the majority of these moves actually took place within about 3 to 4 months, consistently. Obviously, there was a halving involved in that as well. It was one of the first coins to get the halving in the bull market, so that was being priced in, I imagine. But it is possible for Litecoin to lead the charge all over again, and I think that's what's going to happen once this formation plays out. Again, May is going to be the interesting month. For the moment, I do honestly think that consolidation is generally going to take place across the board for all of these coins, because Bitcoin's going to lead the market and Bitcoin's going to bring everything down. But it should find a bottom sooner than we think. So again, hodlers will be rewarded for your bravery. XRP. So again, XRP. People are always asking me about this. Where shall I buy? Where shall I get in? Is it too late? Is it? I want to buy now. I want to FOMO in. It's going up as we speak. It's going up. You're telling me it's going to go down. Why aren't your predictions coming true immediately after they fall out of your mouth? And the reason is because XRP, you got to play the game of patience, right? So when volatility enters XRP, it's too late. It's too late. What you need to do is wait for volatility to calm down, and then you buy in. And then when people do buy in, I hear people say to me, "Are you sure about XRP? Are you sure about XRP?" I mean, I just watched Dogecoin move, and XRP didn't. What is going? Are you sure about XRP? And then when it moves, the same people say, "Well, I was too busy. I FOMO'd into something. Now I'm down, and I'm waiting, and I want to get into XRP because it's moving. Is it too late?" Look, fail to plan to fail. XRP is going to come down. and we've got two levels of interest where it can come down to. This is the overall giant accumulation period area down here. So the first opportunity, I suppose, to get into an XRP position on a spot position is going to be here, around between 84 to 88 cents, roughly speaking. It's a very loose area because it's a 3-year accumulation period, which we are now above. So this could be where XRP finally does find its strength. But this is going to be revisited, I would expect, into the upper to mid 80s. Now, if that breaks down, I also wouldn't be too concerned, because I would also, like to see it retest this 200 exponential at some point. That is, pretty low in my opinion right now to expect it to come down to that level. Doesn't mean that it won't come down to that level. It's just that it is relatively low right now, so it might not actually get there on this pullback. This is going to move up with the price. Every day that we're above it, it does continue to move up. And one day, before the bull market's over and XRP puts in its final top, I would expect that to be touched. Doesn't mean that we're going to come down to 60 cents or wherever it is today. So XRP also looking to head down during this consolidation, in my opinion. Doesn't mean it's going to happen today. Remember, we've got until May before things start to perk up. Even the very beginning of May, it could still be in a downtrend. The month of May is going to be okay, in my opinion. Everything's looking good, in my opinion. But right now, there's no uptrend. What we're seeing is bounces. These are bounces. They're not uptrends. And unless we start to reclaim some of these major moving averages and the center of the Bollinger Band on Bitcoin, especially because Bitcoin, it has decoupled from the market like it did in January. But if we do go for deeper corrections on Bitcoin, it will bring everything down. And at that point, every time we hit these areas of interest, we should think of them as potential entry points. We shouldn't be too scared to buy just because Bitcoin's continuing to go down and looks like it's going to die, and someone tweeted that it's over and it's finished. Look, this is a risky. The whole of cryptocurrency is very risky to trade. Right? It is risky. So listening to me and reading tweets, you're putting your faith in what other people are saying. If you really want to play this game with confidence, you might as well try and learn what's going on here, so you can have a degree of responsibility over your own trades. I appreciate watching me and things like that, and obviously what I'm trying to do here is to explain the process of how I go about trading. I'm not telling anybody in any way how to trade and what to trade, but I do have a process, and it's worked well for me over the years, and so there is method to it, and it works. More often than not it works. So, but like I say, you have to try and to take responsibility for your own trades, especially when we're looking at a potential downtrend across the board with the market and potentially buying dips. So we're looking at areas of where we could buy those, and these are the XRP ones. The top of the accumulation zone, this brand new accumulation zone, which we have broken out of and remain above currently. It is strong. I would say it's strong, but if that breaks down, it's no big deal. We do have a 200 exponential beneath us. And just for fun, I brought up Chainlink. Chainlink, again, most people think it's a bit of a rubbish coin, not really doing a great deal, but actually when we're looking at it here, it's just the same as everything else, holding better than Bitcoin. But if we are looking for entry points, May is providing us with this uptrend of green cloud, suggesting that we're waiting for that final uptick here. We're looking for that conversion baseline cross. We're waiting for that to take place, and unless the market literally dumps and this is a bubble pop, which I don't think it is, but if it is, then all of this will fail. But at the moment, it's shaping up to tell us that we are possibly going to have a bit of a hard week or 2 or 3. But once that's over, it's new all-time highs across the board for pretty much everything, I would say. So that is pretty much the deal right now. So today, I'm expecting steady downtrend, nothing too aggressive, just retesting some of these lows on the moving averages for Bitcoin. But overall, even on this 4-hourly chart, as we enter into May, things are looking a lot better. We might not put in a new low. That's something you have to take away from this. This might just be retesting on this 4-hourly chart to see how well we can perform, and hold some of these levels that we've reclaimed. I'm not going to be bullish on Bitcoin, particularly bullish in the for long-term continuation until this 200 exponential is taken out, and it's clearly shown that on the first pass it was a rejection. That's fine. We expect that on the first pass. Maybe even on the second, on the third, but the more times we test it, the more likely it is to break. But for the moment, that was the first rejection, no big deal. Histogram's ticking down on the MACD, that's fine. Let's just allow this situation to play itself out and hold on to the fact that May does look pretty good. And I've just shown you 3 examples. There's many examples. In fact, when we were doing the live stream yesterday, we basically took note of the fact that Bitcoin pairings all look very strong. They are actually in uptrends, and they are all having bullish setups, and they're at very early days in their bullish setups. So they're about a month to 6 weeks into an established bullish setup. So those setups will take a fair bit of retracement to void them. Basically, they are all okay. They're okay to drop by another 30 or 40%, the majority of them, and still bounce significantly and remain in an uptrend. So I'm okay with further downside across the board with altcoins, because most of them, there was a few that weren't, obviously, but most of them look very strong in comparison to Bitcoin, and I'd be pretty confident in allowing those coins to play out as a hodler. And I hodl plenty. I trade some, I hodl a lot. And some of the trades that I've made from the early January area, they're still in profit. They're going down every day, obviously, as the downtrend plays. But those original purchases, those original spot positions were so good that, I sold some on the way up, but the majority of it that I've got left, I'm leaving. I am absolutely leaving. I genuinely believe we're not in any kind of bubble pop phase. The Dixie, as in the dollar, looks like it wants to have a little bit of a bounce at the moment. That's fine. That's going to lend itself to a further retracement and a pullback for crypto and anything that's valued in the dollar. So that's fine. Look, we're looking for further downside. There's no time to be playing shorts or longs right now, not until an uptrend is clearly in play. And shorting this market right now, that's for the brave. That's for the guys with the big balls and the best entry points. It's not for me. I'm going to leave this one to play out, wait for an absolute bottom, and then get excited for May, where we really start to pick up pace and start to kill this market all over again from very low entry points. So I'm going to leave it with you there, but thank you for watching. I hope you have a nice day. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, all that stuff. And if you want to take it further, I've got a Patreon where we do live streams twice a week, 2 hours at a time, £7.50 a month. You can't go wrong. Anyway, have a nice day and take it easy.